Einen Tag wurden Kirsten und Lukas mit Onkel Roger auf die Farm. Als das Thema des Gesprächs sich wieder zum Deutsch zurückführte. Kirsten fragte Onkel Roger: Kannst du überhaupt den Unterschied zwischen Dativ und Genitiv? Kannst du überhaupt einen Satz mit den beiden machen? Onkel Roger, so quick-witted wie immer, antwortete: Natürlich kann ich. Siehst du meinen Damm da? Genitiv ins Wasser, weil es Dativ ist. Onkel Roger, kannst du mit nach vorne kommen und einige Worte sagen?
Wenn ihr was von Deutsch lernen wollt, fragt mal Kai Löwe, was Paper Toweling in Deutsch ist. Das heißt Krepppapier. So, wir heißen euch alle herzlich willkommen und danken euch, dass ihr die Mühe gemacht habt, heute mit uns zu feiern. Es ist nicht selbstverständlich, besonders heutzutage mit diesem Virus. Wir sind besonders dankbar, dass Kirstens Oma und Opa Schröde und Oma Dedekind und auch Lukas seine Oma Rös und seine, ich höre da, seine angenommene Oma Tante Isolde heute mit uns feiern können. Wir schätzen das sehr. Also Oma Dedekind, viele von ihr wisst, dass sie ist auch bekannt als Oma Lala. Und die Geschichte dahinter ist, dass es Kirsten, die hat das angefangen, als sie etwa 2 Jahre alt war. Da hat Oma Dedekind eine Angewohnheit gehabt, um den Ausdruck Ulala zu sagen, wenn Kirsten was Außergewöhnliches tat. Und daher der Oma Lala Name. Also ich würde sagen, liebe Gäste, wenn die Kirsten heute anschaut, ich würde sagen, Ulala. Yes, we welcome you, our friends and family, and thank you for sharing this special day with us. Usually invited guests would only have to decide whether to accept the invite based on their busy schedule, but along came COVID, so it's actually a risk decision to take as well. And we really appreciate your decision to join tonight, even though we fully understand that there are people that couldn't make it subsequently. We also unfortunately had to exclude many wonderful people from being here physically due to the COVID restrictions. We would have loved to have them amongst us. The social distancing part does, however, have a positive spin-off for me, being the father of 2 beautiful daughters. He didn't comply. Okay, at this point, if I can just borrow this. If you can get your perfectly sanitized, and this one doesn't work. Sanitized hands ready. I just want to applaud the following who helped put this together. First of all, the food, the mom, Petra Rös, for organizing. And preparing the food with her joyous team, and I see Ingrid and Heinz have kindly jumped in and helped as well. We appreciate that a lot. Then we have my wonderful wife Heidi, in conjunction with Kirsten and Lukas. And the helpers, a lot of helpers for organizing and completing the flowers, draping decor, entrance hall, and pretty much everything else. I really think they did a splendid job. Danke Heidi, schätze das. And then we've got some friendly accommodation people, Rosie and Dieter, Krista and Ingrid, for organizing beds for many of the guests. Thank you very much for that. And then of course, last but not least, Victor and Petra alias Patsy, thank you for officiating the union of our children. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Where's Vic there? Vic, I just wanted to check, is there a cooling down period escape clause with this contract? In timeshare they have a lot of those available, but I'm just kidding. We know Kirsten very well, and we know that if she sets her mind to something, or someone in this case, she sticks to it properly and makes it happen. Lukas, we don't want you to have access to any exit strategy. You're in it now. Right, as many of you know, becoming a father is the biggest miracle in life I've ever experienced, at least. And Heidi and myself were blessed with two lovely daughters, Danielle and Kirsten. And for this we are forever thankful to our Heavenly Father. Kirsten, I can remember every moment of the day that you were safely handed into Heidi and my inexperienced hands. It was rather overwhelming. I followed the theatre sister to the room where you were given your first bath, and I just sat there and stared at you, amazed at your perfectly formed face and eyes. I even took the time of studying the minute capillaries on your eyelids, because I thought, nobody's going to swap my baby around, this is mine. And after that day, I actually remember that pattern in your eyes, so you won't get lost. Nobody's going to take my daughter away without my consent. Oh yes, and then something happened. Kirsten noticed her first formal test was handed to what was about to happen by the theatre sisters. I think they called it something like an AFGAR test. And I believe this is where your diligence towards exams started. I've come to realize that the reason they had to pull you out of the womb without a cesarean, with a cesarean instead of presenting yourself voluntarily, was because you first wanted to study for that upcoming exam, so that you could ace it, and you did it. We had the pleasure of having you with us through your whole school career. Your diligence and attention to detail has been inspiring. What is equally inspiring is how you often stood up for Danielle during your life, even after fighting with her. Then came varsity. That's the deep end of the pool. Away from mom and dad and everyone you were used to in a foreign environment. You worked through it, however, and walked away with an occupational therapy degree. And most importantly, you also luckily found Lukas in between your studies. Lukas, we've gotten to know you well in the meantime. You definitely complement Kirsten. You thrive in a big circle. Kirsten thrives in being in smaller social circles. You know, the social COVID protocol type of circle. But Kirsten's a very good driver, and Lukas holds back so that people don't see him as a better driver. Lukas is musical, and Kirsten allows Lukas to be more musical. And so the list continues. You've become part of our family, Lukas, even before you asked for the hand of my daughter, Kirsten. I know your parents well, Victor and Petra. We knew her as Patsy. I think Dieter Kuza and myself had always had fun teasing her at varsity during our lunch breaks when we had lunch at the Lutheran Center. Lukas, you're really blessed with very good parents, and I'm sure you know it. They also have a good sense of humor, something that is absolutely essential to have as a South African citizen. Yes, I know that one of my weak traits are that I don't dish out praise easily to my children. I've got this irritating built-in wiring that believes that you need not depend on outside praise if you know what you're doing is right. In saying that, I do, however, want to say the following to you, Kirsten. Well done for who you are and what you've become. Well done for what you've achieved in your life thus far. Well done for recognizing and choosing a good man and a good family. Well done for planning your future. Well done for being so diligent. And well done for being a wonderful daughter to me and Mom. And of course, a wonderful sister to Danielle. Kirsty, you are beautiful, and you also look beautiful today. And Lukas, you've got pretty good taste. And don't look too bad either. The other day I saw something on a t-shirt and I've just got to mention it. I thought it was just fantastic. It had a big writing in front of it. It says, "Don't just walk, dance." And I wish you that. Not literally, because if I dance, I kill people. Kirsten and Lukas, my wish for you is that you embrace life with our Heavenly Father as your rock. Celebrate all people with their strengths and weaknesses. Fall in love often with each other, and never take each other for granted. With that, will you please raise your glasses, adjust your face masks if they're still on, and toast the beautiful couple. Heinz, Dedican, will you best to unstem, for they are truly good fellows. Sie leben hoch, ne? Sie leben hoch, sie leben hoch, sie leben hoch, sie leben hoch, oh, sie leben hoch, oh, sie leben hoch, sie leben Thank you. So we haven't gotten rid of me quite yet. Somewhere here I've got a letter there. Almost started reading Mark's notes. We've got a lot of applause there. Right. Kirsten, Onkel Edwin und Tante Elisabeth aus Deutschland haben euch ein E-Mail geschickt heute Morgen. Und ich möchte ihn gerne euch vorlesen. Liebe Kirsten, liebe Lukas, heute werden wir so gerne bei euch mit allen den Beginn eurer Ehe zu feiern. Aber wir stehen hier vor einem zweiten Lockdown und können nicht einmal ans Reisen denken. Wir freuen uns sehr, dass ihr eure Hochzeit in dieser Zeit mit Familie und Freunden feiern könnt. Wir wünschen euch einen wunderschönen, mit Gottes Gegenwart gesegneten Tag und viel Freude. Möge heute der Anfang sein von einem guten gemeinsamen Weg, auf dem eure Träume und Wünsche erfüllt werden und in eurem Haus der Friede Gottes zu spüren ist. Ihr habt viel von euren Eltern bekommen, seid dafür sehr dankbar. Wir leben hier in einem Land, in dem Menschen fast alles haben, aber die meisten ihr Leben ohne Gott leben. Ihr habt von euren Eltern den Glauben vorgelebt bekommen und ich wünsche euch, dass ihr als Ehepartner auch im Glauben lebt und dieses wertvolle Geschenk an eure Ehe mit hineinnehmt. Unsere Familie in Südafrika ist im Vergleich zu dem, was wir hier erleben, ein wenig heile Welt. Lasst die Liebe Jesu eure Herzen füllen, lebt aus der Vergebung und lasst euch ständig von ihm leiten und heilen. Die Losung von heute wollen wir euch auf den Weg mitgeben. Herr, sei mir gnädig, heile mich. Psalm 41, Vers 5. Shalom, Elisabeth und Becky. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Roger. The starters will be served shortly. After the evening devotion, you may all remain seated while the starters are served at your tables. I now ask Uncle George to come up and say grace for us.
Let us pray. God, Heavenly Father, we honor and praise you for this day, the day that you have made. We thank you for the love and commitment that you bestowed upon each one of us in a special way to Lukas and Kirsten on their special day. We thank you that we are able to celebrate this special day with them. For those who are not here, to be here with their thoughts and their prayers. We thank you for the gifts of life that you bestow upon us. Thank you for the food that we are about to receive. Make us truly thankful and bless us and bless others through it. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Becoming an entertainer or comedian is not the first thought that pops into one's mind when people ask us as kids what we want to be when we grow up. However, this was not the case for KJ. People used to laugh at KJ when he told them he wanted to become a clown. Well, at least nobody's laughing at him now. KJ, please come up and say a few words about the parents of the bride.
Roger hat mich dafür besandt. Nette Dinge über ich und Heidi zu sagen.
Which means, as long-standing friends of the Schroders, I am honoured to have been asked to give a speech about Kirsten's parents.
Als einer der besten Deutschschüler von Lukas werde ich mein Bestes durchstrichen.
Which means, KJ will do his best to speak in German, that he Google translated, and I will give accurate translation for English-speaking guests.
Wir kennen die Schroders viel zu lange.
We met the Schroders at antenatal classes. Before both our eldest children, Kirsten and Simon here, were born, which was only a few days apart. We have treasured a very close relationship with them ever since.
Ihre Tochter haben meinen anständigen und gut erzogenen Stadtjungen beigebracht, sich mit Schlamm zu besmieren, Frösche zu jagen und andere wilderliche Dinge zu tun.
Which in English means, Roger and Heidi have been the most amazing parents. We have watched them raise and nurture two gracious, beautiful, and amazing young ladies.
Roger wird jede Bewegung von Lukas beobachten. Heidi wird dich auf Hochzeitsreise belichten und wahrscheinlich die meisten Wochen ihren bei dir bleiben.
They are both very protective parents and extremely supporting parents to their daughters and always will be.
Lukas, pass dich auf.
Lucas, Roger will watch your back.
Roger muss noch ernsthaft mit Lukas über Lobola sprechen.
Roger is a very sensible businessman. He's motivated, reliable, and has been a very respectable role model to us, our boys, and others.
Roger wird Lukas bald hart auf der Farm arbeiten lassen, bis fällt.
Roger has welcomed Lucas into the Schroeder family as his very own son.
Roger und Heidi haben gesagt, dass es allerlei seltsame Menschen braucht, diese Welt zu erschaffen.
Which means we have a deep respect for Heidi and Roger and sincerely cherish who they are as friends, as Christians, and as the wonderful people that they are. They are most generous, loyal, and consistently committed to always doing what is right with a godly heart. Over 25 tested years, they have been a true inspiration to our family. We have to mention that they are a deservingly proud reflection of their own amazing parents. Let us give Kirsten's parents and grandparents a round of applause. Lucas, you couldn't have wished for better in-laws, and we trust that you too will have the same relationship with them.
Sie werden dich sogar dafür bezahlen, nette Reden über sie zu halten. Und das ist es, weil ich hungrig bin.
We would like to take this opportunity to wish Lucas and Kirsten the very best of God's blessings in your marriage and happiness as your two families unite.
Danke.
Thank you.
Thank you, KJ and Nikki. During the wedding preparations, I was informed that there would be 5 Thomases in attendance this evening, almost half a cricket team. To put that into perspective, 1 in every 24 people in attendance this evening are called Thomas, more than 5%. Those are better odds than Transvaal winning the Bank Cup. On top of that, there are 2 Dylans, 2 Simons, 2 Vectors, 3 Heidis, 2 Christa Schroeders, 2 Lukases, 2 Rogers, 2 Annas, and 2 Leons. So if you happen to see double later this evening, don't worry, it might not necessarily be the alcohol. On the topic of duplicates, our next 2 speakers might not share the same name, but they do share the same luscious blonde hairstyle. I would like to call up Paf Duplessis, Zima, Isabella West, to say a few words about the parents of the groom.
to those that don't know us, we are the siblings of Lukas and the children of our parents. When we were tasked with condensing everything that made our parents, Victor and Petra, special into a single speech, we were at a loss.
It dawned on us that to really understand them, every single one of you would have to spend a day with them, which obviously isn't possible. Not because my mother wouldn't make space for you, but because of COVID.
So we decided to settle for the next best thing and show you a day in their life.
Ja, wir haben euch lieb. We love you.
All these little quirks are what make you yourselves, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Mama and Papa, you are simply the most loving parents we could ask for. You're always there for whatever we need. You're so quick to open our house to anyone passing through. And you do your jobs with such joy and plenty of patience.
Mama, everyone here can attest to how wonderful your cooking is. Papa, thank you for always doing our laundry.
You have done more for us than we can ever thank you for.
We are certain that the incredible love you have for each other will inspire Lukas and Kirsten and lead to a wonderful marriage. Thank you very much.
Right, Danielle. Looking at both Kirsten and Danielle, one can safely say that no milkman was involved in the creation of this family. And although the resemblance is similar, some people have even confused them as the same person on the occasion. So for the people who are still a bit confused, Kirsten is the one in the white dress, and Danielle is the one in the red dress. Their similarities are not really skin deep though. When I think back to my school days and seeing the miracles that were performed with the incredible decor this evening, Kirsten and Danielle have always been the creative and artistic types. However, unlike Kirsten, Danielle decided to pursue a career based on his talent, studying graphic design. Generally, when one thinks of artists and designers, one tends to imagine gentle, meek characters doing creative things in their own space and relying on others to bring their vision to life. However, I've heard that Danielle prefers to take a different approach, namely basing her philosophy on the age-old saying, "Boer maak plan." During wedding preparations, for example, while people were still debating whether a certain ladder was safe to climb up, Danielle was already halfway up to get the job done herself. Another example is during the arranging of the flowers. Danielle was so hell-bent on cutting the flowers the perfect length, she almost took her own finger off on multiple occasions, preferring this option to the alternative, having imperfect flower arrangements. Danielle, please can you come forward and say a few words?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Mark, for that introduction. And now I can't really use the first paragraph of my speech. He just missed that I am the bride's favorite sister. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate the dashing groom and the beautiful bride. In preparation for the speech, I googled how to write a made-up speech. So if I missed something, you could leave it a review on WikiHow. The article said I should start by telling the story of how I met the bride. Unfortunately, my memory doesn't go back quite that far. So I'll tell you the stories and the lessons I've learned from Kirsten that Lukas might need to know. Kirsten grew up teaching me how to do things,
so the role tends to stick with her. When she tells you you're doing something wrong, they give you a lesson on how to get it out. This was a skill she revealed when we were 4 and 6 and needed some money from the tooth fairy. She'll draw step-by-step diagrams and everything, don't worry. The next one is very important to remember. She loves herself a good prank. Always check your food for the surprise chili. Expect vinegar instead of water. And no, she's forever hiding behind the door. About to scare you. And I really wish you good luck on that one. And one final thing, because my mom told me to say something nice. Kirsten is the most caring person. If ever you're sick or hurt, she will be right there with you. If you're sick or hurt, she will, oh, I've already said that. She will bring you a bandage for your paper cut and squeeze all the breath out of you when you're sad. In your lifetime, you'll probably have some moments where you're sad or sick or hurt. But I can promise you that with Kirsten, you'll never be sad, sick or hurt alone. And the rest of the advice, I'll let Kirsten tell you. After all, she does know best. I just have one last thing I would like to say. I really want to be an aunt soon.
Thanks, Danielle. So a few weeks ago, we celebrated Lucas's bachelor's in the idyllic town of Winterton. For those of you that don't know Winterton, I was told it's a small drinking town with a shooting problem. Nestled in the foothills of the Drakensberg, Winterton is both a holiday destination and hosts a strong farming community. With that in mind, an American farmer traveling through South Africa decides to pay Winterton a visit and takes a rest stop at the famous Bridge Country Lodge. He goes in, orders himself a drink, when he notices the man next to him that also looks like a farmer. For argument's sake, let's call this man Sven. The two strike up a conversation, and upon noticing Sven's majestic two-tones and cowboy boots, the American eventually asks, "Are you a farmer?" "Yeah, I'm a farmer," Sven replies. "How big's your farm?" The American inquires, to be as competitive as ever. "Well, roughly 150 hectares, Sven answers, not knowing where this has got. "Ha! Only 150 hectares, the American laughs. "That's cute. Do you want to know how big my farm is? When I want to drive around my whole farm, it takes me 2 days to come back." Sven takes a big sip from his brandy, looks up and replies, "Ah yes, I had an American car once as well." Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the podium the best man, Sven Rus.
So for those of you who don't know, I am Lukas's very slightly younger cousin, Sven Rus. We are very blessed in our family to have a very close relationship with our cousins. At family gatherings, it's more like seeing your siblings than cousins. So these relationships start when we are newborns, and of course they can have quite an influence on how you turn out as a person. For example, I am a thrower. Always have been and always will. From throwing Duplo blocks during temper tantrums as a kid to a couple of swings after a few brands in coke. So what does Lukas, the groom, have to do with this? Well, being slightly older meant Lukas could crawl before me, and it also meant he developed teeth before me. So how would Lukas use this advantage? Me, completely immobile in my younger years, would be sitting and playing with whatever. And Lukas would crawl over to me and give me a bite. Kirsten, he is a biter. With me not showing any signs of developing mobility anytime soon, I had to become resourceful. And I quickly learned that launching a few toys in his direction was a sort of a defense. But fast forward a few years, and you go from being a terrorist in my life to turning into my closest friend and forming a family bond strengthened by friendship. Lukas, you are one of the most passionate people I know. Those who had the pleasure of joining us in Winterton for the bachelors, who can forget the crocodile tears that were shed while filled with brandy and coke, you reminisced about chasing the sun. I can honestly say that there is not a woman in this world more deserving of the person that you are. Kazi, you picked a gem. Kirsten, when Lukas finds something worth holding on to, he will never let it go. He will treasure it and he will love it just as much as the day he first discovered it. Proof of this is Lukas's relationship with his Pi Delta cap. The occasions are few and far between where he is without it, and a part of me was expecting him to wear it today. I have no doubt that you are more than worth it, and if he can love and cherish a cap in this way, just imagine how he will treat the love of his life. So if I can end off with a toast and a wish for your future. May your relationship be like Chasing the Sun, a 5-part series. May you savor the ups and push through the downs. May your journey be filled with many victories. And may faith and your love bring you all the joy in the world. To Lukas and Kirsten.
Thanks, Sven. Now it's time to change back to German. Da war mal ein kleiner Junge, der sich schon sein ganzes Leben ein Fahrrad wünschte. Er fragte seine Mama über und über, aber jedes Mal sagte sie nein. Kein von seinen anderen Freunden hatte schon ein Fahrrad und er wollte unbedingt der Erste sein. Nach einer ziemlich langen Zeit sagt seine Mama, es ist Stopp. Sie wird ihm ein Fahrrad zu Weihnachten kaufen. Er darf sich sogar selber eins aussuchen. Der einzigste Catch ist, sein Fahrrad wird eingepackt werden und im Weihnachtsbaum gelegt, bis Christabend. Wenn er vor dem damit spielt, wird es von ihm weggenommen. Dieser kleine Junge, der sonst immer ziemlich stoic war, wurde mit einmal sehr artig. Für ganz paar Wochen spielte er gar nicht mit seinem Fahrrad und sehnte nur aus der Ferne nach. Trotz dessen grüßte er jeden Morgen, jeden Abend sein Fahrrad und flüsterte zu seiner Liebste, was er alles mit ihr tun würde, sobald der Tag kommt, wo sie endlich zusammen sein können. Er erzählte sein Fahrrad, wie er es langsam auspacken würde, wo er die Kurven anpassen würde und wie viel Spaß sie zusammen haben würden. Endlich kam der Tag, der Junge packte sein Geschenk aus und er war glücklich. Long story short, Lukas, frohe Weihnachten. All jokes aside, ich wünsche euch beide eine gesegnete Ehe, ein incredible Leben zusammen, vollgepackt mit Abenteuer, viel Lachen und am wichtigsten viel Liebe. Lukas und Kirsten, könnt ihr bitte nach vorne kommen und Und einige Worte sagen.
I was always good at unprepared reading. A good speech should be like a miniskirt, long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to keep your attention. Yes, sir, must Okay, anyway, on behalf of Kirsten and myself, we just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. You helped us make this day a lot more special. We hope you're enjoying it every bit as much as we are. It's great to be surrounded by people who are important to us on such an occasion. Okay, where's Matthias? Matthias, weddings do not organize themselves. Just saying. When I proposed in March, we still had 9 months, and all of a sudden it was the 12th of November, and then last night. The restrictions were challenging. There were a few stuff-ups. Why did you cross out the smooth? Anyway, but we managed to be here and have a fantastic celebration with an amazing setup, and my beautiful wife. I would not have been able to do this without you, Kirsten. Ich liebe dich von ganzem Herzen und bin gesegnet, dass ich dich meine Frau nennen darf. Feel my shirt? Husband material. I won't tell you who it is, but I paid someone to laugh at my jokes just in case someone else knows. Okay, apparently I have to tell the story of how we met. We met in 2015, in first year, at Rag Week in Pretoria, when they still made floats. Johan was there that day. He can attest to this. I saw Kirsten from the other side of 2 rugby fields, and I said, yes, Johan, that girl's hot. And then, I met her, and we started talking a lot. And then I saw her at Elandskar, and ich habe mein Herz in Elandskar verloren. Work is magic, I guess. So yeah, it really wasn't long after we started dating that I knew I wanted to make you my wife and spend the rest of my life with you. So thank you very much for everything. And yeah, we have a very, very long list of thank yous, and I just want to say I'm sorry if we forget anyone. It wasn't intentional, and please be assured that we are very, very grateful. I'm going to start with Uncle Olga and Tante Heidi. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication to make this day possible. I haven't asked permission yet. We wouldn't be here without you. And thank you very much for welcoming me from the start. I always felt very welcome, and most importantly, thank you for raising such an amazing young lady. Vielen Dank. Next, we'd like to thank my parents for all the work they did in the kitchen and also thank you very, very much for the ceremony and for marrying us. It made the day a lot more special. Danke, Mama and Papa. Thank you for putting up with me for all these years. And to our parents, you really mean a lot to us, and we really appreciate your ongoing love and support. And both of our parents are married 50 years this year. Thank you also to the grandparents. Thank you for always being there for us and spoiling us. Yeah. And then a massive thank you goes out to our godparents who have guided us spiritually since our baptism. Thank you very, very much. Then thank you to everyone who helped in the kitchen. It's like more than half the people here, so I'm not going to mention anyone in specific. But yeah, thank you for everyone who helped in the kitchen, and thank you for everyone who helped with the bar. The food was delicious. And thank you to everyone who helped with the flowers. When I was here on Thursday morning, I couldn't imagine what it would look like. Last night I was actually in here by myself for a few minutes just admiring it, because I knew I wouldn't get that chance today with everyone in here and everything. So I just stood here and I had a close look at everything, and it really looks good. And yeah, thank you specifically Tante Heidi, thank you, and specifically Danielle, thank you very, very much for arranging that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you to everyone who helped with the decorations and to set the tables. Just a quick story about the wedding photos. So we asked all the married couples here to please send us their wedding photos, and then we tried to print them out as Polaroids and put them at the back there. So all these little ideas just made the wedding a lot more special, and I know I have to thank you for that, for a lot of the ideas. Just a quick story about that. Lisa and Britta were having a look at the photos, and they found a photo of their grandparents, Uncle Heinz and Tante Monica. And the younger one, Britta, looks at Lisa and she points at the photo and she says, "Lisa, here, Opa was still a man." So all those little ideas just made it a lot more special. And then to my groomsmen, thank you for always being there for me and for all your help with today. Thank you for organizing the bachelors, especially you, Sven. It was we had a great time. Everyone who was there can attest to that. That's why there are like no photos. And yeah, thank you that I can always count on you. It really means a lot. And to the bridesmaids, I looked online what to say to bridesmaids. And it said, no, you must thank them that they calmed the bride down. But I think Kirsten was more calm than I. I think she calmed me down these last few days ago. So just, yeah, thank you for being there for her. And she always seemed very calm, so you are obviously doing your job. But I want to thank you for making Kirsten's day and the time before the day a lot more special. And thank you for your time and dedication, and all three of you look stand. Right. Mark, thanks so much for being the MC and giving us a few good laughs. Du hast richtig einen guten Job getan. Also, Mark and Anya got engaged on Thursday. Congratulations, have fun planning the wedding. Thank you for all the speeches, I really enjoyed them, and it means a lot to have people say those things about us and our parents. Emil, thank you for offering to write a song for us when we asked you to sing a song for us. Tabia, thank you for singing it with them, it was really amazing. I knew I wouldn't know what to expect. Michael, danke für dein Orgelspielen. I haven't worn these shoes before today, so I think that time of the prelude made me wear them in various. Awesome. Schön. Awesome. Der andere? Nicht hier. Ich denke, der Teppich in der Kirche muss ersetzt werden. Alright. We also really want to thank the photographers and the videographers. It was very, very important to us to video everything to share with the people who couldn't be here. And yeah, thank you to the barman and thanks to everyone who still brought something today. I know there were quite a few things last night where I was like, hey, I forgot this, I forgot this, I forgot this. And everything worked out fine. It was so nice to get here and everything was just standards. Almost done. Almost. I just need some time to brag about my wife. Yes. I've loved you for a few years now. And I'm very lucky and blessed to be married to you. You make me so happy just by being who you are. I've always loved your kind heart, kind nature, and your willingness to help people. You have an amazing ability to calm people down, and you inspire others with the work you do. You're intelligent, beautiful, and a pleasure to be around. I also want to thank you for your finishing touches for today. And you never fail to surprise me. Never. I love you. I want to thank my Creator for making it possible for us to be here today. Lord our God, bless us and keep us safe. Thank you.
Lukas, watching you get all emotional talking about Kirsten, I almost thought there was a picture of Rassi Erasmus here on the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the speeches.